played alongside Lou Diamond Phillips and Edward James Olmos as Anna Delgado in the movie Stand and Deliver. She remained good friends with Jaime Escalante, the teacher who provided the inspiration for the film. As we remember the contributions of educator Escalante and continue to salute education in this web extra feature, I'm pleased to be joined now on the program by Vanessa Marquez. Vanessa, good to have you on this program.
Well, thank you for having me, Tavis.
There are so many teachers today who are struggling with the same issues portrayed in the film that you starred in back in 1988. So what was it about Jaime Escalante's teaching style that made him, at least for you and some of the other people, different?
Well, for me, I remember when I had the opportunity to first meet Mr. Escalante, I was fresh out of high school, and I had done very poorly in math, and didn't get a lot of help from the teachers. In fact, I was thrown out of many of my math classes because the teachers just weren't willing to help me. They weren't willing to put in the time to nurture anything that I had to offer. And what I saw in his classroom, just fresh out of high school, was a man who believed in his kids, who had respect for his kids, and those kids responded to that respect. And he expected a lot from them, but he knew that they could deliver. And I think that what the most important thing that he brought to the classroom was tolerance and compassion. And I say tolerance because he believed that these kids could learn. He believed that it didn't matter that these kids were Latino. It didn't matter that they were poor, that they came from a barrio school, that they came from a barrio neighborhood. He believed that any kid was teachable, regardless of their race or their economic situation. And so what we lost when we lost Mr. Escalante was tolerance in the classroom, and compassion, and the willingness to do anything necessary to help these kids have a better life.
How much better in math do you think you might have done had Escalante been your teacher?
Oh, I remember sitting in his classroom thinking, I live a mile away from here. I lived in that neighborhood. And I remember thinking, I wish I had come to school here, because had I come to school here, I've only been in this classroom for a week, and I'm listening to calculus, and I understand it. And I don't think that there's any coincidence that in the next few months I started college and had to take advanced math classes, and I got A's after meeting Mr. Escalante. Aced all of my advanced math classes just because of that bit of inspiration that I got from him. So I know that I would have had a teacher that would not have thrown me out on the street. He would have said, you know what, you can do it, and I'm going to help you. I'm going to expect a lot from you, but I know that you're going to perform.
The amazing thing about film, as you know, Vanessa, is that it lives on a whole lot longer than we do, and the great thing about film is that even though Mr. Escalante is now gone,
yes,
the movie will be shown over and over and over again for time eternal. What is it that students can learn from watching this film even today?
I think it still carries the same message, that it doesn't matter who you are or where you come from. I came from that neighborhood, and I became an actor. And that just, even from that neighborhood, that's just not a reality for a lot of people. And yet, I believe that it could happen, and it did. And I think, to this day, not a week goes by when people come up to me, and young people especially come up to me and say, my teacher made me watch that movie in school, and after I saw it, I really believed that I could not only do math, but go to college and do whatever I wanted to do. I promise you, not a week goes by. This happens all the time, and it's 22 years later. So it is amazing that his legacy will continue to go on, and he will continue to inspire. Even though he's not physically here, his spirit, I can't even think of him in the past tense. I have a lot of trouble thinking of him in the past tense and not being here anymore, because he was so alive in that classroom. His spirit was so alive that this movie will continue to teach and continue to inspire students for generations to come. And I am so proud and honored to be a part of that legacy, even just in a little way.
Vanessa Marquez played Anna Delgado in the film Stand and Deliver. Vanessa, good to have you on the program. Thanks for sharing your memories.
Thank you so much, Tavis. Thank you for having me.